Okay, so talking about man-made fibers, and man-made fibers, just like it sounds, are fibers that are mostly manufactured by humans. So some of them are actually technically plastics. Some use natural materials to create something that's so different from nature that they consider it man made, but either way, it's processed in a factory or some kind of plant to create these fibers that our clothing is made out of. So, we're going to talk about a few of those. So, um, man-made fiber, again, is a type of fiber that is made artificially rather than occurring naturally. So polyester is probably the one that you are most familiar with. That one came about to imitate silk originally, but has been turned into basically it can copy almost any fiber that we have today. So some of the ones that we're going to talk about are nylon, polyester, rayon, spandex, and bamboo. Okay. So nylon was also manufactured after polyester. So polyester came first and then nylon came second. And nylon was made to resemble silk. And it's made of a thermoplastic, so it will melt. If you like take a match to it or something, it will melt into like a hard plastic bead. So some of the benefits of nylon, though, are that it's very strong. It's an extremely strong fiber, and it's very elastic, so it will stretch. Okay. It is water repellent, so it doesn't absorb water. It's water repellent, and it's color fast. So that word, color fast, it means that if you dye it, it will retain the color really well. It won't bleed. If you wash it, it's not going to dye your other clothes, you know. One problem with it is that it does fray easily. So that means if you have a cut edge of the fabric, it will start to come apart. Those little threads that are woven will start to come apart really easily. This nylon that you see on this slide is actually ripstop nylon. They use it a lot in outdoor products like tents, backpacking gear, sleeping bags, things like that. And it's actually got, you can kind of see, especially in the blue one, it's got a grid of a little bit stronger, thicker fibers woven into it. So nylon does fray easily, but ripstop nylon, if you cut and it starts to tear, it will only tear to the next grid before that stronger piece that's woven in will stop that tearing. So it's called ripstop nylon, actually, used for a lot of outdoor products. Okay, then we have polyester, which probably 98% of what you're wearing has polyester in it, whether it's 100% polyester or polyester mixed in with some other things. Polyester can resemble silk, cotton, linen, wool. It's made of synthetic polymers, and polymers are basically, I don't know if you get into the chemistry of it, they're chains, but anyway, it's essentially a plastic type material as well. Again, if you took a match to it, it would melt into little plastic beads. Some benefits of polyester: it has really good shape retention. So that means that there are some fabrics where maybe you've had like a pair of linen pants, and if you're sitting with your knees bent, then you stand up and you've still got like some knees in the fabric, like it, you know, kind of formed to your position and then it doesn't really leave that position. Polyester retains its shape really well, so it's going to bounce back into the shape that it originally was. It's not going to stretch out in other ways. It's also very wrinkle resistant, so it does not wrinkle easily. It can wrinkle, but it doesn't wrinkle very easily, which is really nice. And like nylon, it's color fast, so it will hold dyes really well. And one of the huge benefits of polyester is that it blends well with other fabrics. So lots of stuff that you wear will be, 70% polyester and 30% cotton or something, because you kind of get the benefits of both of those fibers when you blend them. And polyester can blend really well with lots of different fibers, including stretchy ones. So that's pretty nice. One downside is that it really does retain oily stains. Oils are really hard to get out of any kind of fabric, but polyester especially will tend to kind of like really hold on to those oily stains. Okay, then we have rayon. Rayon, if you've ever had like a dress or a shirt, they'll make men's shirts out of them sometimes, but typically I see dresses made out of rayon. If you've ever had one, it's very soft and comfortable. It's a super, super comfortable fabric. So it was made to resemble silk and cotton, and it's made from wood pulp. So because of the process that it goes through, and because the process is so intensive, it's considered a man-made fiber. Okay, so even though they use wood pulp, so they literally like, chop down a tree and they turn the shavings of the trunk into this fiber rayon. Even though it comes from a natural source, it's so processed and it has to go through so many steps that they consider it a man-made fiber. So it's extremely soft and very, very comfortable to wear. It drapes really well, which means that it kind of hangs and flows. It's got a really nice kind of flow, and it blends really well with other fibers. So you might see rayon mixed with polyester or cotton. Lots of times it's rayon and cotton, but it's a really beautiful fabric. However, it does shrink, and it's one of those things that will kind of change shape as you wear it. Once you wash it, it will kind of go back, but it'll kind of get stretched out as you wear it a little bit, and it wrinkles really bad, like wrinkles really, really bad. So if you have something made of rayon, you want a steamer, because ironing is a huge pain. It wrinkles really easily, but if you have a steamer, just some hot steam over it will release the wrinkles really easily, but it does wrinkle quite easily. Okay, next one is spandex. So spandex is made to resemble rubber made of polyurethane. So it was literally manufactured to stretch, and that's what it does. It is extremely elastic. So spandex, you might have heard that in reference to like, dance shorts or volleyball shorts or something that people will wear in their uniforms. But spandex itself is actually a brand name of this super stretchy fabric. So it's extremely elastic. It will stretch and then bounce right back. It's nice to add to other fabrics to blend and add a little bit of stretch. So like a lot of denim these days will have like 90% cotton and 10% spandex, or maybe even less, like 98% cotton, 2% spandex, just to give it a teeny bit of stretch, just enough that they're a little more comfortable, not so stiff, and so it mixes really well with other fibers. It's hard to sew, so it requires a lot of special stitching techniques to put together, so that requires special machines. On a large scale, you can stitch it at home on a sewing machine, but it requires special machines, and it does shrink when washed if it's not laundered properly. And then we have bamboo, which is similar to rayon in that we classify it as a man-made fiber. Even though it comes from a natural source, it's so processed and goes through such a long change that we don't really consider it natural by the end of that. So it's considered man-made because we take it and change it so much. So bamboo is extremely soft. It's very, very nice fabric to touch, and it's really strong. And it's water absorbent, and bamboo grows so fast, like so much faster than trees. It's not even funny. So it's renewable or sustainable to have bamboo fabrics because you can regrow bamboo so quickly. It doesn't take as much of a toll on the environment as, rayon, which is using wood pulp, or other natural fabrics that, you have to raise a sheep and then shear it and then use that for the wool, So bamboo is extremely efficient and renewable, which is really cool. It does wrinkle easily and it takes a long time to dry. So even though it absorbs water, it holds on to water really easily. So it takes a long time to dry. And it will kind of yellow over time because it's natural. It will, or comes from a natural source. It will kind of, the colors will break down and it will kind of yellow over time, which isn't so great. So some just overall properties of manufactured fibers. They're made from chemical compounds. Usually they're heat sensitive and will melt. They're not as absorbent as man-made fibers, which we'll talk about, but they are less expensive. So typically it's much easier, even though it's still an intensive process, it's much easier to produce manufactured fibers than natural fibers.